Alright. Alright guys, how you doing tonight?
What's going on, people? Happy Wednesday. Hump day.
Yeah. It's been as you can see, if you're watching us through your your camera phones or computers or whatever else, this is a live stream episode. So this is actually going to be we're probably going to be doing this probably from now on, and then I'll figure out editing and then put it up on YouTube, things like that. So we can kind of, even though, what is Google? Google is to Disney like,
What?
Like, you know how like Disney buys up everything?
Yeah, I thought you said something about a Disney Google
No.
merger. I had a mini panic attack.
No.
I'm like, the world's gonna end. Fuck.
No. So I was saying that, like, you know how like, because YouTube was its own thing before, they just start buying up everything. But yeah. So we're gonna be putting up these episodes on YouTube moving forward, just to kind of get the message out. And so you can see us, live and in color. So it's a Wednesday, man. So how's your week been? I know we didn't get to see each other last week, but
It's been good. It's been. I feel like I say this every time. It's been hot. It's hot.
It's September. I'm not. Where's the change? It's probably one of the weirdest things. Moving to Florida is like, especially when I was working in the restaurant, and I'm like, it's been like 90 plus every single day in September. This, it's cool if it's like the first week, but we're towards the end of the month. Like, you start to get that cool weather, leaves start to change, and that ain't necessarily the case.
Oh,
here.
No, that shit happens like the second day of January, and then by the 5th day, it's hot as fuck again.
Yeah.
You alright there?
Yeah.
Have a little malfunction?
A little bit.
I mean, it happens to the best of guys. I mean, it's just something that happens when you get older.
Yeah, right.
But, no, so, I mean, it's kind of good to be back in the studio.
Yeah.
Because the last episode, little impromptu thing, me and my brother-in-law Steve, it's pretty interesting. Go ahead, you guys can listen to it. But it was the background audio, the frogs and the bugs that you can hear chirping in the background.
I mean, I heard that slightly. It kind of reminds me when we were, the first couple episodes we were doing was like in your backyard.
Yeah.
And those fucking critters are loud. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well, I went back and I listened to a couple of the first episodes, and I don't even remember like a lot of the stuff I said on the ones which I've just kind of been going through and just kind of re-listening to them. This thing's pissing me off. It just closes out too often. But like the stuff we were talking about, like back with George Floyd and that whole trial and just the things that happened throughout the summer with the riots and
yeah, I mean we've been doing this for 5 months now, since April.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. Like, we talked about this for a minute, and it's like anything. I realize why a lot of things don't get done, just in general in life, is because
people just don't do it.
You just don't do it, and it's not. You have people make all types of excuses. I don't have the money. I don't have the resources. I don't have this. I don't have that. I'm just like, do it, and then kind of. I feel like when you become like an adult and like you get beat up by life, you just like There's a
That should have been curb stomping me.
yeah. So there's a logic that you move into like as you get older, where you lose like your wonder, where when you're little, like you don't need much to be entertained. Like you could literally get a box. It could be a rocket ship. It could be all types of shit, and you're just like, and it's the weirdest thing because like like if we start looking at 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds doing that, I'm like, what are they doing? But it's like it's everybody was that young, and as you get older and like you get a little bit more smarter, you get a lot more logical, you lose that wonder, which is
well, it's just you have so many more things to worry about, and it's nice for the simplicity and the I mean, I wish I could fucking sit home all day and sit in a box and do nothing but like, I mean, people look at you weird.
Yeah.
Neighbors are like, he's in the box again. Do we call somebody? Is he okay? Why is he naked? Just, stuff like that. But,
even for me, I mean, we were talking off pod, how like, I mean, in business, you're going to have highs and lows. You're going to have really good highs. You're going to have really, really lows where you're like, all right, like, am I, like, I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm doing, but, like, almost second guess yourself where it's like, okay, like, what's the difference now between, the last few months where you, like, outright killing it? And it comes into comfortability. Comfortability is the enemy of.
Well, it's not just that. I mean, you're talking about, like you're talking about business slowing up, and it just doesn't seem like it's as active as it was. But I mean, that's not really anything you're doing or not doing. I mean, I'm surprised we're still fiscally afloat in this country. I mean, we realistically are not that far off from a fucking collapse, and we're inching further and further. I mean, you're noticing little signs. Like, I go into like a gas station or like a convenience store, and I'm getting water, Gatorade, whatever drinks for the day because it's hot.
Yeah.
I went into I went into a gate station and a Wawa in the same day, and on every single cooler door there's a little sign that says, "We apologize due to supply chain issues. We are not able to. We may be missing certain things." Or, I mean, you look in the fridge and it's like certain drinks, water, empty fucking rack, vitamin waters, and it's slowly you're noticing the shelves aren't really getting full.
I'm starting to see that. I went to Walmart like yesterday just to get a charger, and I'm like, there was things like, I went to the grocery and I wanted to get some sausage biscuits. Just the sausage biscuit itself, just no egg, no cheese, whatever, and the whole thing was empty. It was empty. Like you were saying, there's places that are just there's none at all, and I'm like, this is really weird.
Well, it's bless you. It's, I mean, that shit's hitting everywhere, and I mean, it comes down to a list of things. It comes down to fuel prices are going up, so shipping costs are going up. You got truckers going on strike in areas. Yeah, just refusing to drive.
It's just not worth it for them, or?
Well, all right. So say say you're a trucker out of Texas, and your dispatcher says, all right, look, we got a load that's got to go to New York City.
Yeah.
It's got to be there in fucking, I don't know, 3-4 days.
Yeah.
The problem is, in order for him to go there, he now has to get a vaccine. Otherwise, he's not going to be able to go into any stores. He's not going to go any truck stops. He's essentially going to be treated like a second-class citizen.
Yeah.
Which is kind of rampant. I don't think that's the issue. I think it's the little mount back here. We can fuck with it after the fact.
That's fine. That's fine. I can hold it. It's not, that's not a big deal.
See anything? Are we back? Okay, we're back.
Yeah, we're back.
Instead of dealing with all that bullshit and being,
I'm not surprised.
however many thousands of miles away from his family, like, yeah, no, I'm just not going to do that.
Yeah.
There's like supermarkets, a lack of employees to stock shelves. This honestly is the first time in a lot of people's lives where they're starting to not have access to whatever they want.
Yeah.
I mean, we are literally, we're at a point where, say you wake up in the morning and you go, I don't want to leave my house, but I really want a bagel.
Yeah.
But I want it from the place across town because that's got the best onion bagel I've ever had, and they make scratch-made cream cheese.
Yeah.
And I want that for breakfast, but I don't want to get up and go. So they Postmate it to the house.
Yeah.
Spend fucking $18 to get a bagel delivered to your face.
I've used Postmates one time because I really had a fiend for something. And no disrespect to anybody who uses Grubhub, Postmates, Uber Eats, any. To me, it's not worth it. I'll get in the car and go. I'll get in the car. Like if it's something I can't get delivered through regular calling them up the phone and they literally delivering, like unless I'm feeling like I really want it, which is not often. Yeah, cause like it's a lot of this technology has gotten people in this like even these like Amazon stuff is ridiculous now.
Well, it's
like there's fulfillment. There's one near my house where it's a locker. Mm-hmm. They just
you can have your shit delivered
it's
there and
crazy.
just pick it up.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually real quick. Shout out to Mikey Garibaldi.
Garibaldi
Says looks like you're drinking kidney stone piss.
Okay. It doesn't taste like it.
So it. I mean, our country and our society has reached a level of opulence and decadence that it's literally anything and everything and anything that you could possibly want, you have access to. So, but now, for the first time in a lot of American people's lives, they don't have access to everything that they could possibly think of. They don't have access to stuff that they took for granted.
Yeah.
You get something as simple as like cream.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. Oh, excuse me. You think, oh, it's just cream, whatever. Well, a couple different things has to happen to that shit before it turns into heavy whipping cream. And people don't use that shit for a lot.
Yeah.
Some baked goods, maybe you want to make your own butter.
Yeah. But when you can't get something, and I'm starting to realize it's, and unfortunately, just I guess with the change here in the country, where it's when people don't get what they want, they have a straight up visceral reaction.
Yes.
And it's I would call it like having a tantrum,
It's entitlement.
But it's like
it's fucking entitled.
Some of it's like I know children that don't do what you did. Are you serious? Like,
well, they've been conditioned to think that they get whatever they want whenever they want, and now that they can't do that, it's fucking world ending for them.
And this is not, and it's across the generations, because I love how they love to shit on us millennials or Gen Z or whatever else, and I'm like, every 2 seconds I see a video on whether it's social media of an old man or old woman being told no, and you guys are flipping shit. Yeah. And I'm like, I can't do like, and then thinking that I'm gonna get your man.
I have rights.
That means what does that mean? Like, what does that really mean?
The problem is, that's the problem, is that a lot of people don't really understand what that means.
Cause I feel like that's a buzzword. I feel like those are buzzwords in itself, cause like, it's just ridiculous. It's just like, and then it's and of course when they get videotaped and in the moment they're all this, and then then it goes to their job or whatever else, and it's just like, no, that's not me. That's not who I really am. I'm like, it is, and it's unfortunate. It's very sad, but where do we get as a country or as people in general? There's actions and consequences. That's how the world works.
See, that's how the world works for everyday people, for the most part. Like me and you, we've lived lives where our actions have really real consequences.
Yeah.
That if we don't act right and do what we're supposed to do,
exactly,
it ain't gonna be okay.
Yeah.
But not everybody has had that privilege.
Yeah.
And it living that kind of life, I would call it.
Well, it comes down to some people getting that through money, someone getting that through actual position, and then also what I didn't realize too is you had the proximity to money or position,
and that in itself just breeds, like I said, the entitlement and the like I don't understand.
It's like, it's almost where, like, I know your parents didn't raise you like that. There's no way. Now some of them at the higher echelon, then that's one thing. But most of these people, like a very small minute, or you find out they have a whole bunch of money. These are people that kind of got an okay job. And it's like, especially like not only in the supermarket, but also in the Ubers. Like, that's ridiculous.
God, you talking about that video of the chick freaking out?
Well, there's a couple of them. There has that. There's the one of the lawyer, and like, dude, you're a lawyer in New York. This is pre-pandemic.
Oh.
And it's just like,
you just say, fucking take a cab. You're a lawyer. Get a car service.
Yeah, like stuff
cheap ass out of the Uber.
Stuff like that, and it's a lot of the times is some of it is broad daylight, but then a lot of them are like, they're drunk, and unfortunately, when you get drunk, like anybody that's gotten drunk before, your inhibitions come down. You don't filter yourself anymore. Anything that you want comes out of your mouth does. And unfortunately, if you're not a good, decent human being, and you got that camera on you, it could potentially ruin your life.
Most times it seems to ruin your life.
Now, certain situations, do I believe that you should get a lesson? Yes. Do I believe it should ruin your life? No. Because at the end of the day, people are people. This is what we do. We get surprised. We get so surprised when it happens, and it's a difference when we see it on the video when it's like in our face. It's like, wait, this really actually happens. Like, and it's, of course, that visceral reaction with public opinion now that can, you got people that are. Some of these people should work for the FBI, CIA, NSA, all the. Like, I've seen people.
You got no other, nothing else to do with your life?
I've seen people that have literally found people, like, off of tattoos on their hands type of shit. I'm like, are you serious? What? Like, and, like, you doing this for free? You better go get paid? Like, what you talking about? But it's. I mean, you already kind of know, like, just how my mind works, like, people are going to do what they're going to do. I don't get surprised when people do what they do. Sometimes it's like, oh, I've heard about this. You're actually doing this in my face. I'm, so this does actually really happen. But it's again, like what you said, like, you can penalize somebody, that's one thing. But to destroy their entire life over one moment I feel like it's a bit excessive, because at the end of the day, if somebody is an asshole, right? Like, short of getting punched in the face, assholes usually don't change their tune.
I mean,
more times than not.
I mean, let's just be real. I mean, being an asshole is not a crime.
It's not. It's unpleasant. It's unfortunate, but it's not a crime.
Well, but I mean, I guess we take it back to what we were talking about. The all the shit that's going on is fixable as far as the supply chain shit and the issues that
it's just gonna take time. That's all it is.
No, it really wouldn't. A couple policy changes. So
what policy changes specifically? Because I'm not versed on any of this stuff, to be honest.
All right. What do you want?
Okay, so just from the supermarket, because I would think just because of the quality of the food and it being so, like, all this stuff has to be in country. I would hope that, like,
yes and no.
Because, like,
most of, like, fresh produce, meat, that's all coming from in country. But,
okay,
like,
so
a lot of dry goods, canned goods and stuff, that can come from overseas.
Okay, so is any of that the things in, like, the grocery freezer, like the things that we heat up, or like Hot Pockets, or
that shit's all here. I mean, it's not.
Yeah. Okay. So
realistically, it's too expensive to make shit out of country and then import it, unless, like, the country you're importing it to doesn't have any kind of, like, infrastructure or way of doing it themselves.
Okay.
Because otherwise, you're going to be competing with, import taxes, tariffs, all this stuff, and competing with companies already in country that don't have to pay for all that shit.
So as far as the drivers, I mean, which is New York the only place that's requiring COVID stuff?
LA,
as of right now?
Well, mandated.
Mandated. I know mandated in New York, but is there any? You say LA?
LA. I want to say cities in Oregon, but, like,
it's not okay. So I have two things of thought where it's like you're either going to have people that are willing to get vaccinated and do their job, or you're not, and that's
it's like you don't get to force people to.
No.
And what a lot of people don't don't seem to understand is a mandate is not a law.
Okay.
Mandate.
That's what a lot of people are. That's what.
Mandate does not mean law.
Okay.
I mean, that shit did not go through the legislature.
So what's the difference between a mandate and a law?
A mandate is a
suggestion, basically.
It's like a decree. It's like I'm important. Do what I said.
Because before all this, like, did we have any mandates before this?
Well, it's essentially something that is mandatory. You're mandating that it be done, but that's not how our legal system. It's not how this country works. You don't just get to say. I mean, it's fucking despotic. I mean, I can't think of the word, but Overlord Biden gets to is ruling by decree.
Yeah.
But look, all right. So you're asking a couple simple policy solutions. Yeah. So repeal this dumbass vaccine mandate.
Yeah.
How about reinstitute the stay in Mexico order where, I mean, you got how many thousands of people rushing our border right now?
Yeah.
Because Biden said, come here, storm the border.
Wait,
rush the border. I forget the exact wording of it, but the fucking dude's on.
And the vice president just say Guatemala, I don't want any of you mother... Well, sorry, she didn't say it like that, but it's like, you're not coming over here.
No, she said don't come after she spent the entire campaign trail saying open borders this, open borders that, come here, you'll get citizenship, we'll take you. And the second they start getting any flack, I haven't heard her. She went and threw a pitch at some baseball game or some sporting event and then went on a talk show. But she can't do a goddamn press brief. She can't talk to press with anything other than pre-scripted questions that she already knows the answers to. I mean, what are you doing? Literally, what are you doing other than fucking nothing? They're literally comparing Biden. They've got him in the top 3 worst presidents in history right now. He's not even through his first term. What the fuck does that say?
Is he really, though? Like, if we want to talk about, what is it? He's number, 47?
46.
He's 46?
Yes.
45. Okay. But out of the 45 presidents that came before him, he's the worst.
I can say he's the worst. But
I'm just like, he's in the top 3.
Not even through his first year. Oh, by the way, the media is now confirming that the emails and stuff in Hunter Biden's laptop was all legit.
Okay.
Fucking like 6 months later, and that doesn't mean a goddamn thing.
Well, Okay, so they just dropped all charges, or?
No, it wasn't charges. I mean, it's confirmation that
was okay. So was he was he doing anything illegal? That's.
Yes and no.
Okay. What was the? Okay.
Illegal, yes. Unethical, yes. I mean, it's. Biden literally flew him on, it was Air Force One or Air Force Two, to China to negotiate a private equity deal, in which there's an email on the laptop stating that H is to hold a certain amount of money for the big guy. H being Hunter Biden, the big guy, Joe Biden.
Okay.
And one of the guys, that should have so known that 30-minute thing.
That it is, but
the guy Tony Bobolinsky, who is in the emails, he came out and said, "Yeah, I'm in those emails. This is all true. Biden's the big guy."
Okay.
Because according to him, he was brought in and he didn't necessarily know what was going on. He knew some of the dirty shit that was going on, but he didn't know the extent of it.
Okay.
And once he found out, and they're saying he was ratting him out to save his own ass, which, who
fucking...
Yeah, but,
like,
even if that is true, so? I mean, have you had a chance to check out that article, Biden Inc.?
No.
It's wild. They go into all the shit, all the private business dealings Biden has done, how he set up his brother to build new infrastructure in the Middle East after we destroyed it all.
Okay, so
his brother made millions.
So basically,
rebuilding infrastructure.
Basically, how Bush, well, I'd say Cheney, how Cheney did with Halpern.
Exactly. Not exactly, but pretty much, yeah. So,
I mean, I could say I'm surprised, but I'm really not. I mean,
well,
it's
how he fucking the guy. Okay, so they tried to impeach Trump over a phone call, saying that he coerced a Ukrainian official into doing something, whatever.
Yeah.
Quid pro quo.
Yeah.
Biden is on video bragging that he did exactly that while he was vice president, went to Ukraine, told them to fire a prosecutor that was investigating a company called Burisma, which was a oil company that, guess who happened to be one on the board of directors? Hunter Biden. Zero energy experience, had no idea. Well, I've been an executive, I've worked on boards before.
I mean,
You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're a goddamn crackhead that smokes Parmesan cheese out of the carpet. Bro, have you seen that interview?
No.
Where he straight up says, "Yeah, I've probably smoked more Parmesan cheese than any person in the world," because he would pick it out of his carpet thinking it was crack. Said that on camera with this lady interviewing him, and she goes,
"Oh my god!"
Couldn't tell if he was kidding or not, and then he just.
I mean, what do you?
And she's like, "Okay."
Wow.
Yeah, so the prosecutor was investigating the company, and Biden straight up said to them, "Fire the prosecutor, you're not getting your aid."
I don't like shit like that.
And the guy said, well, you don't have the authority to do that. The the president, has already promised the aid. He's like, all right, well, you call him right now. Fire the prosecutor, you're not getting your aid. And he said, well, goddamn it, they fired the prosecutor.
I would have called Obama. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, you're a vice president, you have fucking power, but I'm like, before I hear...
Obama is on video saying, you can count on Joe to fuck it up.
I did hear that. And that was not in a joking way.
Well, very disappointed look on his face. The one thing you can count on Joe to do is fuck things up.
He backed him off.
I mean... how much longer do you let this dumb shit go on? I mean...
Who has the power to do anything about it, as of right now?
The problem is the people that do have power to do anything don't care, or just...
They just...
are happy with the situation.
I would think, especially, like, I would think the right would, or, like, they would do, like, the same thing that the left tried to do to Trump would be, I would think the right would want to do to fucking Biden. I feel like that's a no-brainer.
You would think that, but the problem is, a lot of people on the right tend to be idealistic because the left gets power and they kind of go a little crazy, and the right gets power and they're like, well, we're not going to do what they're going to do. We're going to do the things the way they should be. Follow the Constitution.
We're going to be better.
Exactly, and it doesn't really get them anywhere.
I mean, so
Hence the fucking situation we are right now.
So, do you be better, or do you just do exactly what they did on the opposite side?
Well, the problem is it's you can look at it like a game of tug of war. You got the left and the right, and the left.
It looks like it.
The left is pulling as hard as they fucking can, giving it everything they got, and the right is just trying not to move. They're not pulling on their own. They're not. I mean, you don't see any Republicans or right wing conservatives or anything asking to repeal the National Firearms Act. You don't see them pushing for more gun rights. You don't see them pushing.
But that makes no because I would think right Republicans, you're all about those things. So why are you not? So,
the left wants things to change drastically. The right wants things to stay the way they are.
So for the right, is things staying the same good for the American people? Is it?
Well, obviously not. Because you had during Trump's presidency, you had the executive, judicial, and
he had everything, right?
Yeah.
He got
a couple judges on the Supreme Court, but
what
the fuck did you do policy-wise?
But
that wasn't immediately reverted by an executive order when Biden took office.
So, is there anything you can put in place to not get revoked by executive order?
Well, yeah, because executive order only goes so far.
So
it only holds so much sway. It's not legislation. It's not a law.
Okay.
It's essentially a mandate. The people in the executive branch have to follow an executive order.
Okay.
And I guess it's a depends on what it has to do with and who it's affecting, because you could sue over an executive order and get it
repealed,
but
then it's not going to stop anybody from put that.
Well, it's realistically the process is start at the local court level and work your way up to the Supreme Court. But the problem is the Supreme Court don't want to hear any fucking cases. Granted, it's.
They do shut down. They do shut down a lot of cases where, especially death row cases, things like that, where sometimes these are wrongful convictions, things like that,
stuff like that.
But I would think that's your fucking job.
Well, it's take the eviction mandate.
Yeah.
Or eviction moratorium.
Yeah.
Biden mandated it.
Okay.
The Supreme Court said, look, you don't get to do that.
Okay.
It's expiring this date. It's not far off. We're going to let it ride out. It's not going to be renewed.
Okay.
He goes to renew it.
Of course, it gets struck down.
They say, you don't get to do that. Congress needs to do that. They need to legislate it. And then it can be done. Well, he couldn't get Congress to agree on any kind of legislation to get it done. So he said, I'm mandating it. It'll be 30 days before it's heard in court or whatever. We're going to let it ride till then. He on at least two occasions so far, he has superseded not just the judicial branch but the legislative.
So, and my heart goes out to people that, of course, are.
No. At this point, no.
Because and they say what? There's going to be what is it? At least 1 million to 3 going to be homeless?
Why are you homeless? Is it because you didn't go get a fucking job because you thought Big Daddy Biden was going to keep cutting you those checks?
A lot of people thought that.
you didn't want to take that government pay cut and go get a job. Now, granted, there are some people in certain professions that literally were not allowed to work for a very long time.
Yeah.
That is not the fucking case anymore. Get your ass off the fucking couch and go the fuck back to work.
Now,
contribute to our goddamn society.
Now, the only thing about it is where, I mean, I listen to different people on social media and things like that about certain things like that where, people are saying, well, it's not my problem. Well, shit, if this shit fucking happens, it's gonna be your fucking problem.
Who said it's not their problem?
Yeah, but a lot of people are on the frame of, well, you didn't do what the fuck you needed to do. Mm-hmm. You got stimuluses, you got unemployment, even got a tax refund this year.
Yeah.
And, so this is not my problem. You didn't do what you needed to do. So, is this going to still fall on us as taxpayers because you have another 1 million to 3 million coming into the homeless space now.
You know the story of the ant and the grasshopper?
No.
The ant stored away a bunch of food. Grasshopper just fucked off. And then when it came time to hunker down and survive, Grasshopper didn't have shit because he didn't store any food, didn't do anything. And he turned to the ant and expected him to
save him, basically.
Yeah. You know what? I don't have sympathy. I mean, that's a hot take.
It's not. Shit, you sound like me.
Well, it's. I never stopped working.
Yeah.
I stopped working when I got COVID.
Yeah.
But I did my quarantine. I went the fuck back to work.
Yeah.
My bills never stopped getting paid. Granted,
I don't understand where it's like, okay, that's fine when someone's told you don't have to pay. But if you have the ability to pay, fucking pay.
Well, the problem was it wasn't that you didn't have to pay. It's you're still going to pay. You just don't have to pay right now.
You have to.
And realistically, if they were intelligent, they would have set the goddamn money aside. Even if you didn't want to pay the fucking landlord because you just think he's a dick.
Yeah.
Put it in an escrow account and pay it out like you are. And then when it comes time, cut the goddamn check so you don't get kicked out of where you're fucking living.
Yeah.
Or save that fucking money and put it on a down payment on a house.
Yeah.
I mean, you made the decision to fuck off and waste your money
for a year.
Over a year. Some people have fucking off for way longer than that.
And it's crazy because from a logical business standpoint, right? They understand shit happens. Especially, there's a lot of people that fucking lost their jobs. Especially when this shit happened. They're going to be a lot more understanding to someone they've been dealing with for a year, 2, 3 years. That, okay, I know you have a decent amount of income. I understand shit happened. And you got to adjust and pivot. Instead of, now I got to fucking kick you out. Now I got to fucking clean up the property. Let's go say you've been there for 2 or 3 years. That's your house. Now I'm going to have to really clean that shit up.
It could take fucking up to 30, longer than, it could take months to get somebody evicted from your house.
Yeah. And then I gotta deal with a whole new motherfucking person. But what I don't understand is, especially when people talk about, well, we need a minimum wage or things like that, right? Most places you rent from, you have to show them income 3 times to, at least usually 3 times to what you are trying, your rent. Because they want to know, I don't care if you fucking get into an accident or whatever else. You make enough money to where if you miss a week, you're still able to go and stroke that rent check.
Yeah,
So I don't understand.
I don't care about your problems. I don't care about your situation.
Why would they?
You're not moving in until I know you can pay.
Exactly.
And I mean, it's like a lot of these people that are these landlords. I mean, it's not multi-millionaires
No,
and
these are
giant
the-
conglomerates. It's older couples or just...
That might have bought like a property here and there that they've had for 10 or 15
Well,
years.
it's like some people just, they bought a duplex and
Yeah.
they live in the one side and they rent out the other, and then that's their retirement, is they have somebody else pay their mortgage and their bills. They provide a place to live for someone, and the trade-off is you're paying their bills.
When I hear
If you
this
don't want to do that,
when I hear this landlord
buy
elite
your own
this shit,
fucking house.
it pisses me off so fucking much. Because don't get me wrong, I've lived in places with fucking slumlords.
Yeah, there's
Okay,
definitely very shitty people that don't maintain their properties,
Exactly.
and they treat their tenants like shit.
Yeah.
And I know people in this city that are 100% slumlords. But at the end of the day, you're signing that lease. You're agreeing to live there.
You agreed there to where it's like you could like literally, if you wanted to go and buy a house, right? There's certain trade-offs between buying a house and renting. Okay, whether it's for property tax or maintenance, all these things right there. So when people say, well, these people are just like, no, I didn't buy a property so you could live in there for fucking free. Period. Point blank. Period.
No, and it's
that's not my obligation.
Well, it's not like you're just collecting a check, and I mean, there's all kinds of overhead when it comes to being a landlord. I mean, you got to pay for any repairs.
You got to pay property management sometimes.
Property management. You're paying the property taxes.
Maintenance.
Maintenance.
Yeah.
Depending on what agreement you set aside with the tenant, but like, you have to maintain the house. You have to make sure it's a livable conditions for them.
And shit costs money.
Yeah, and it's like, it's not like when you sign a lease, you can't just be like, oh, well, it's costing me more money for you to live here, so we got to up your rent.
No.
I mean, realistically, you can, but you got to wait till that lease is up.
Yeah.
It rolls right back to that entitlement shit.
And again, we've had conversations on here where I've been a little bit, it's just like this house you have right now, right? Mm-hmm. You did what you need to do. Most of the things in our lives, we've had to work to get it. Mm-hmm. There was no person that was going to give me any money to get something. It's just...
Look, this is the way I look at it. I rented 2 different houses in Jacksonville for a total of 4 years. The first house was $850 a month.
Not bad, actually.
Well, for 3 years, that's a little over $10,000 a year.
Yeah.
It's about $30,000 that I wasted and will never get back.
Yeah.
And then the next house was $1,000 or $11 something a month, which again is another fucking. So realistically, anywhere from like $40,000 to $50,000 separate is what it cost me.
Yeah, just to live.
Not even including what we had to pay for the house.
Yeah.
So it cost me almost $50,000 on top of what I already paid for this house, and it's fucking crazy.
People need to get it. Like, honestly, I've said this before. That no one is going. Like, don't get me wrong. Some people you got in your corner. Some people they don't have anybody. Again, if you have friends, that's great. That can help you, but you gotta save. You gotta help yourself first.
I mean,
it's just point blank. Period.
Even that, there's assistance programs. There's agencies and places that will help you. To an extent. I mean, they're not going to help you forever. It's like, look, you got this amount of time. We'll give you this, this, and this. You can apply for food stamps. I mean, you can get a goddamn bus pass for real cheap. I mean, it blows my mind downtown how many resources are available, and people just perfectly happy laying on their back on the sidewalk, staring up at a fucking one of the fucking Obama phones that they hand out by the old bus station. They have little tables set up, like, oh, free cell phone, here you go. Give me all your information. And here's a chip. Ha. I mean, that's just one of the issues that we got to deal with. But so we kind of had a plan of what we were talking about. Moving on to fucking border shit.
Yeah. So I didn't realize it was multiple groups. I saw Haitians first.
It's a lot of people coming from Haiti because of what they're going through right now.
Wait, what are they going through now? What's that, another fucking earthquake?
Yeah.
Gee, like living on an island must be great, but when shit like you have nowhere to go.
Well,
and
it's not that they're coming in. It's the way they're coming in. I mean, realistically, Florida is way closer. They could just come here, but they know if they get on they could just take a boat here. But they know if they get on a plane and fly to Mexico and then come through the border, they're just going to come in because they're not stopping people. Bro, the one camp is, last time I checked, 12,000 strong.
I thought there was a wall. I thought there was a legit wall.
It was under construction, but Biden put a halt to that day one. Like, people were in process of building, and he said, nope, funding gone. Y'all are done.
I mean, okay, so like you're in construction, right? How long does it really take to build a wall? Like legitimately, the wall that they're like, because didn't he start building it? Didn't the previous president start building that shit like the first year? That's what I thought, right?
See, what it was is there was already existing structures piecemeal across the border.
I've heard
different states put
different
money into it, whatever.
Yeah.
Some places there's a steel wall that's 15 feet high that is damn near impossible to scale because of the way it's constructed.
Yeah. And some of them got the fucking border patrol, and some of them got.
Well, and some people got posts every 20 feet with a single strand of barbed wire going across it.
That's not stopping.
No, it's not. I mean, realistically, they can just swim across the Rio Grande River, which is what they're doing in Texas right now.
What I don't understand, right, is before, like, because why didn't all these states that are trying to put the wall, why didn't they get together as a collective and say, okay, this is what we're going to do, and then start doing it to where it was uniform?
Because it takes federal funding.
You guys can't. So.
Well, yeah, don't get me wrong. A lot of places did.
Yeah.
Texas was very big on it. Arizona, for the most part, did.
Yeah.
But where there's a will, there's a way. If there's no will, there's no way.
Yeah. That's quote unquote. That's the American way.
Yeah. But the problem is, it's like these aren't refugees.
These are just people that want to come in just because.
They're fucking economic migrants. They like it better here, so they want to come here. So they're just wading across the Rio Grande River. Bro, there are people that have been there for over a week that are going back into Mexico to get supplies, food, water, and then coming back over to the tent city.
How's that even so? Okay, this is
because they're over here and there's nothing there but people, tents, and shit.
Okay.
So whatever they come over with, they had, like, there's photos and videos of them coming across the Rio Grande back from Mexico with takeout containers.
Okay.
The little styrofoam takeaway containers in shopping bags.
Okay, that's not good look. That's not good look. That's like when I hear shit like that, that's a slap in the face. That's a which so
it's like what Trump instituted a policy called the Stay in Mexico policy, where you could apply for asylum here, but you stayed in Mexico until it was approved or denied. And if you were approved, come on the fuck in. If you're denied, you can either stay in Mexico or you can go back where you want, but you ain't coming here.
Okay, so what? I mean,
it was racist. It was racist. It was xenophobic, so they repealed it.
All right. I've heard that term. Like, all I've heard about xenophobia is that it's equated to Muslims, so I don't really know what it. I've never looked up xenophobia. But
I mean, at this point, it's a fucking made up word. I don't like all these phobia words because it instills an idea of fear when it's like most people are like, no, I just don't agree.
Okay. So, well, I'm surprised we're not doing what we usually do, but I just can't because it's like
what do we usually do?
I mean, like sometimes it's like well, you're gonna try to get in here, fuck around, and find out. So, and I don't agree with that, but what it like at the end of the day, right?
All right, so say we want to do that. How many fucking Border Patrol agents do you think we got? You think cops are hated? When was the last time you heard a good thing said about a Border Patrol agent? Not
ICE.
Never?
Or ICE.
Well, I mean, that's
but,
what we're talking about.
I mean,
Border Patrol.
It's one of those things where it's like, this is what people don't understand about.
You want to know when the last time you heard something? Not never.
Yeah. But why do we care? What? Like, this is what I don't like about sometimes America. Just sometimes, like, it's like we do certain things or we make policies and we just don't want to be looked at as there's countries that embrace like I'm the fucking bad guy and I don't give a fuck. So why don't we just say
Putin loves that shit.
Makes his dick hard.
Fuck with me and find out.
It makes his dick hard. Like
I'm ex-KGB, bitch. Find out.
Yeah.
Like
I would like to see him fight though. I would like to see like if he still got it though. But that's probably not gonna happen.
I mean, you get around that fucking Russian Secret Service, you go ahead and find out.
Nah, it's like anything else.
Well, it's like that man. He respects strength. That's why he didn't really push Trump on much. I mean,
Trump was strong.
If anything other than visually, optically, yes, he was very strong. It was the unpredictability of what he might do.
The unpredictability I can understand because I'm gonna be honest with you, like, Trump ain't taking to it.
In a fist fight, probably not, but when it comes to
I mean, we don't do shit like that anymore.
I mean, I wouldn't mind to see Trudeau get his ass beat. How are you gonna keep finding blackface photos of this dude, and he still gets reelected? Like 4 or 5 now.
I don't understand how is he still prime minister.
I regret my actions. How many blackface photos do you have, Prime Minister? I don't know.
Like, if you have one and
it's like 20 years ago. You're kind of a piece of shit, but
I'm gonna give you a one-off, but no, they just keep finding them. I'm like,
bro, I thought the second one. I'm like, oh my god, the third.
It's insane.
So no, look, but it's
It's like we already
we only got so many Border Patrol agents, and there are 10,000 plus people that, let's face it, are
we're not gonna like. Are we really looking around them like we did the last time, and put them in a fucking thing by the border, and we had a whole bunch of missing people and assaults and everything like that.
Who built the cages, Joe?
Who's using the cages?
Well, it's they were put together during Obama's presidency.
Yeah.
And then they tried to blame Trump by using photos from Obama's presidency. And then the second Trump was out of office, they were using them again, but they were no longer called.
That shit's look fucking ridiculous. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
But it's like bottom line, no matter how you feel about it, crossing our border illegally is a crime. You come in through the proper channel, or you're breaking our laws. And what we do with prisoners, or what we do with people that break the laws, we put them in jail. And as far as to separate them from kids, you go to jail, guess what? They take your kids. That ain't nothing new. Just because it's happening to people that don't live here, you got people that live here that go to jail every day and lose their kids. Kids are separated from them. So I don't understand the sudden horror at that idea. Why? Because they don't speak English?
Yeah, pretty much.
Is it they think they're I don't know,
they don't think like, if I'm gonna be honest, there's a lot of people that don't like. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna generalize. There's a certain amount of people that don't believe, they don't think much of them. They don't even look at them as people. They look at them as tools. And I feel sorry for his tool. Like, feel sorry for his tool. I don't, he's just fighting to get to America and his family and everything like that. And we took it away from him, things like that. I'm like, you don't care when you go and, pay him pennies on the dollar to do your work. You don't care. And that's okay. Just, I'm at the stage in my life where, again, you want me to care about certain. I don't care about everybody, and I don't care about everything. There's a lot of situations that are like, I'm dealing with my own shit. I'm dealing with my own people. Like, I empathize, but at this stage in my life, and what I'm trying to do, and the resources that I currently have, I can't do anything. So, I'm not gonna worry about it. Like, we're in America, it's great like this. Like, while we've been recording this podcast for probably almost an hour, there's unspeakable atrocious things that happen in this country and everywhere. Everywhere. While we're doing this, people are getting killed, murdered, tortured, and God knows what.
People kill themselves.
Exactly. So, and it might sound very callous to me saying it the way I'm saying it, but at the end of the day, like, there's a lot of people, like, you don't care about those people. You don't even know those people. You really don't. And that's okay. You can say that.
It's trendy to care.
Yeah.
It's, even if for nothing else, to look like you care. The optics of it.
That's probably the most...
Whether they care or not.
That's probably the most disrespectful thing.
Well, it's like...
that I'll never understand.
Well, it's like the 13 soldiers we lost in that bombing by the Bagram airport.
Yeah.
You don't see shit about that no more.
Yeah.
You see, it was nothing but we love our troops and remember the 13, and you had restaurants putting out 13 beers at a table and taking a picture of it and posting it on social media.
In
memory of the fallen 13. And
so I saw something where, I'm not sure if the numbers are right, but it was saying like how much money we spent in like the 20 years in Afghanistan? How many?
200 billion.
What?
200 billion.
Ugh. God, I can't even wrap my around a billion.
Could you imagine how much we could have done to our country with that money?
Yeah. You know, like I said, like how many people we lost, which I was surprised about the number. The number was very low.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it skews way more on their end of how many people they lost.
I mean, like this is the thing. What I don't like about you have certain people where they're very like with the war and things like that, right? We're a country, especially when we started the war, right? I was talking to somebody about this earlier today. We don't like when countries have less resources, less manpower, fight us and kill our people. We don't like that shit. It's a slap in the face. Like, we have all these things, you're not submitting to us. We don't understand why. No, if the roles were reversed, we would. So when they kill 10, we kill 100 or we kill 1,000.
And the problem is that just solidifies their resolve and keeps them fighting more.
It's
because for every one of them you kill, you create at least two that at that point see, oh shit, the Americans killed my friend, my family.
It confirmed everything I thought.
It radicalizes them, and it's.
I mean, it confirmed everything they thought they were. I mean, it's kind of like a similar situation where because people don't realize we're a very young country compared to the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like Japan, the Middle East, their cultures are thousands of years old. So when I think about this, because imagine a child telling a old ass grown man what to do, essentially. As one of the things we've never understood that you have they're outmanned, outgunned, and don't get me wrong, we have our special services and things like that where we go in there, but it's a more missions, things like that. But you don't have you rarely have if we have 10,000 and they got fucking 500 and they're still coming at us and we don't understand. It's not
hard to understand. It's their home. We're invading their home. They did not want us there. I mean, look, if we're gonna go in and say we want this resource, this is why
that's why I was saying
that is shit people can wrap their heads around. But going there, doing that, and then spending billions of taxpayer dollars to nation build in a place where they don't want us, they don't want our ideals. I mean, Western countries and the Middle East
have never mixed.
Well, it's the founding principles of our societies clash at a fundamental level.
Yeah.
There's differences that will never be reconciled. And it's I mean, all you gotta do is look at excuse me, I forget who the fucking government official was that was talking about it. They were shocked and dismayed that the Taliban didn't have a more inclusive cabinet. It was
what?
It was there was no diversity in their in the.
They don't give a fuck about diversity over in the Middle East. Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, it's the mentality that they thought that they were going to take power back and institute the first female president of the Taliban. And it's
my god!
It's
are you living in La La Land or are you living in reality?
No. They're living in La La Land.
Because I would rather us literally go over there. I'm like, okay, we want the poppy fields, we want this.
We sent funding to the Middle East for transgender studies.
What? They don't even know what the fuck that shit is.
They know what it is, but if they find out it's a thing, you don't last long.
Yeah.
Look, and I mean, there's a lot of repressed homosexuality going on in that culture.
Yeah,
There's a lot of dudes fucking dudes and a lot of dudes fucking kids, and it's basically we're doing it. But if you're caught, or anybody finds out you're doing it, as far as the gay sex, not the kids, apparently that doesn't matter a fucking thing.
Like there was a movie I watched a couple years back called The Kite Runner. It was actually based off a book.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really good. I didn't expect what I saw in it.
Did you just say Kite Runner like wasn't gonna know what that was?
No, I thought it was fucking. I didn't know what the fuck that shit was. Like this shit. Yeah, I had no idea what that meant. Like your shit was like it was a good story, and then the shit went left. And then, it was just probably the worst thing was like, it's like with generations. You even though like, time has passed, people are still the same fucking people. Mm-hmm. Whether better or fucking worse. But
it's just
I'm just like, if you're gonna go over there, just literally take the fucking resource and keep the fuck pushing. But don't act like don't shake my hand and stab me in the gut at the same time and say like, hey, like
just don't wipe your ass with your hand and then shake mine with it. Look,
because I mean I don't like all I want from the Middle East is like just give them the fucking choice. That's all it is. If you want to wear a burqa or whatever the hell you want to fucking wear, but give them the fucking choice. That's it.
I'm sorry. I'll be honest. It's not our business. I mean, we can't even deal with shit on the home front correctly. Why the fuck are we trying to tell other countries what they should be doing?
I mean, we've been doing that for a long time. It's just
yeah, but just because you do something for a long time don't make that shit right.
It's not. But like, when you think you know best, but then you realize that what works over here doesn't work everywhere else, and sometimes they don't want what we have, and then we get almost appalled or we get offended. You don't want this free. You don't want this free. What we have in the sex and all these type of things, and
you don't want this free?
No, I don't want it. I don't understand why you don't want it. I don't want it. We've had our culture is like 3-4 times older than what yours is, and the only reason why we even have it over here is because you rebelled against another culture that was older than you.
Well,
we fought our mama. That's all we did.
A lot of the problem is lack of education. They know what they know, and they don't know anything else.
I mean, I guess unless you go to school, because some of them do go to school, but most of them are farmers and shit like that.
Their schooling isn't anywhere close to what we would consider an education. I mean,
okay.
it's fuck, the people that were clinging to that plane literally thought they were just going to hold on to that shit all the way back to America. They didn't even think for a second, like, maybe the wind's going to be so strong that I can't hold on.
I just thought they were just like, this is a last effort. I didn't think they just were lack of education.
No,
Because what I thought straight up when I saw that video, because everybody's probably seen that video, I just thought was, this is my last ditch effort, because you want to think about this, right? Even if I go up and I die, I'm going to die. I'm not.
There's definitely that.
Exactly. So it's one of those things where it's like, I don't want to have to shoot myself. I don't want to hang myself. I'm going on here because I'm not gonna, even if it was 100 miles away, like we're probably, the thing was probably 1,000 miles away. Whoever the hell was even on there was gone.
We still have American stuff over there, by the way.
Well, I'm glad we haven't been seeing those type of videos yet, but because I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, like the Taliban overran the whole thing, so are they probably in the embassy? Because they couldn't have
been overrun the minute they took.
So I don't understand why. I don't understand.
They could not wait to take that fucking flag down.
I don't understand why. So, are we just gonna leave them over there, or were you just gonna? What do you want to do?
You want to try to set it straight? You want to try to go back, redo shit? I mean, at this point,
I mean, unfortunately, like,
well, people aren't doing anything themselves apart from allowing it to happen. So why?
No, okay, so if you're not gonna fight for you, I'm not gonna fight for you.
I'm not talking about the Afghan forces.
Oh,
I'm talking about the citizenry in general.
I mean, if you like,
a lot of the soldiers did fight, and there's videos of them
fighting and dying.
Well, it's fighting and they run out of ammo because they've been trained to operate the same way we do, where we use minimal ground forces and air superiority. If we get into a situation we can't handle on the ground, we call in an airstrike and we level the fucking playing field. Yeah. They were trained to operate that way with.
Why? That makes no sense. If you don't have something, right? Why are you going like?
Well, we train them with the mentality that we wouldn't be leaving. We would always have that air base. Like, we didn't intend to leave that air base entirely. It was always meant to be just kind of a foothold in the area. But it was like,
I mean, with these type of situations, like the only, if you were even to go back in there, it's
we don't.
We don't need to go back in there. But if we were going to do something, like, you just have to be brutal and just it. No, I'm just gonna say what I'm gonna say.
Come on, let that inner genocidal maniac out. Go ahead.
Oh, I've said this before. There's certain things that words will not be able to reach somebody. So I'm sorry. Like, get down and lay down. And what I've never understood is, like, if you're gonna do something, scorch the earth and put your foot on their neck to be like, you're mine. There's nothing you can do. You are helpless. And
so you're for police brutality?
No, I'm not for police brutality. You're not gonna fucking do that shit. We're not gonna fucking do that shit. So
it's different if it's our citizens.
Yeah, of course the fuck it is. What are you talking about?
So Americans are more valuable than non-Americans?
You tell me.
I don't think so.
If you're going to do something, don't half-ass it. That's all I'm saying.
So kill everybody.
Kill most of them.
Most of them?
Yeah. You gotta have, like, you're doing anything like that.
Hot take.
You have to have people that are gonna, like, you can't kill everybody because they're not gonna know what happened. So you kill most of them, and then you have people like, oh, this is what happened. And if you're gonna do the things that we did in 20 years, like, you mold it. We didn't mold it. We didn't, like, we acted like we wanted to be there when it's like, no, I just want your resources. I'm going to take anything I want, and you can't do anything about it.
But
Instead of...
They did plenty about it, though.
Well, you did. But then it's like, nah, we're here, we're your friends. They, like, we're not your friends. We don't care about you. We said we care about you, and that's what to get what we wanted. All I'm saying is, if you're going to do something, don't be disingenuous. I don't like that shit. That shit's. But. Oh shit! I'm sorry. But
So, in case you missed it,
had a bit of a hot take there.
Aaron's the Black Hitler.
Hey, I'm not the Black Hitler.
He went on talking about the Eighth Reich and how he's gonna go. No.
But I mean, like, seriously though, like,
scared me a little.
Really? You know how many countries we went into, and like, if you're gonna do something, just be upfront. Like, I don't like the, like.
I don't think we should be doing that, and
I don't want us to do that. But if we're gonna,
well, just doing it and telling me you're doing it isn't gonna make it okay.
It's not gonna make. But what's the difference between doing that and what we've been doing for the last 20 years? Because, like,
all I know is it's costing me money, and I don't want it to cost me any money anymore. I don't want my tax money going to...
Yeah, I don't want my tax money...
I don't want my tax money going to killing people.
I mean, but it does already. It's been damn near since we were 15. Since we've been paying taxes.
Again, I don't want my tax money going to killing people.
Alright, so where's it going to go?
How about rebuilding our infrastructure, our roads, our bridges, our airports? How about we invest in our own country and stop fucking investing money in destroying and rebuilding other countries?
Why do you think that we haven't done that already? I don't understand why we haven't done that already.
Because it's more profitable to go destroy places and then rebuild it.
But then why wouldn't you allocate that money? But still, even if you're doing that, why don't you allocate that money over here?
It is coming over here, just not to us.
It's coming to the pockets of the upper echelon, basically, or whoever.
Military companies, military industrial companies. Lockheed,
Blackstone.
Blackstone is another animal entirely. That's an investment group that has hands in fucking everything. They're trying to buy up any and all real estate.
I thought
they're going to be.
I thought that was a private security firm.
Blackstone.
Blackgate. Or Watergate?
Blackwater.
Okay. Because I know the CEO is a former SEAL.
Blackstone. Well, no. BlackRock is fuck.
There's a lot of blacks.
Oh, Aaron, don't be racist. Against rocks. I don't even know who's fucking up the country anymore. It's a shorter list to figure out who's not.
I want this shit to change, but I feel like you're gonna have to get active on both fronts.
How would you change it?
Okay. First thing
no train cars, Aaron.
You're a fuck. Nah, but we can't do that. We can't do that anymore.
No train cars, no showers.
No. So the first thing I would do is
Australia's trying it.
What?
What?
Okay,
Yeah,
so
they're COVID camps that won't be done until 2022. They're in the long game.
Jesus. So the first thing I would figure out is like you gotta figure out like you gotta follow the money. That's the first thing. You gotta figure out who actually. So you have to move on two fronts.
Follow it how?
So
Nope, found you out, you're dead.
well, okay. These companies
Nope, found you out, you're dead.
You have to be you have to be in the air, but you also have to be on the ground.
Nope, they found you out, you're dead.
Make contingencies.
Nope, they found them out, they're all dead.
The flash drives.
To who?
The nearest news outlets.
All dead.
Okay.
Dead, paid, dead.
Yeah. Okay, so how would you change it? How would you change it?
I can't change shit.
Really?
I'm gonna sit here and bitch about it.
You're telling me we can't change anything? We can do something.
Yeah, you can pay attention to your local elections.
Other than that, like, is who we've been talking about for this past probably hour, 2 hours and a half, or whatever else, right? Are they actually in charge the way we think, or is this a shadow government?
I have no idea. There's so much bullshit out there.
I don't like. Let's not say Betsy DeVos is like. I don't even like her and whoever else,
Betsy
right?
DeVos.
Yeah, her and let's gonna say Kamala and whoever else. Because we talked about a while about the fucking cabal or some shit, right? And I don't like. Usually, a cabal would never tell you I'm a cabal, bragging or otherwise.
So just don't care. Bro, they
do. I don't believe. Like, I don't believe that they're really pulling the strings.
You don't believe they?
No, I don't. Like, I believe they have.
They bragged in the Time magazine, like full issue story about how they fortified the election.
Yeah. So, I believe they have power, but they don't have all power. There's people that saying, "I want you to push this. Keep sick." Like, because you don't have enough Americans outraged to be like, "This is a slap in the face. You're telling me you guys rigged the election and no one's doing anything about it?"
Yeah.
So they're like,
something.
as many fucking congressmen that don't agree with this so-called cabal. I'm like, it's either are you bought, or have you been bribed?
Well, it's who's not part of the establishment at this point.
I mean, what is the good thing about the establishment? Like, it's just you keeping your position, you making your money and shit like that? Like, is that all? That's all there is to it?
You get power, you get money, you get free healthcare, you do whatever the fuck you want. Get to vote yourself a raise.
Like, I don't see any. I see very few people that are like our age or a little bit older, and it's gonna have to be like the only when I think about it's gonna have to be a sweep, and it's gonna have to be one of those like we have a plan, like where we're getting into every form of whether it's law enforcement or Congress or all these things, and it's like, okay, like we're pushing this way, where it doesn't like uh, like kind of like a lever, but you don't really realize. Like, let's go say, right? Okay, so I touch the lever, right? You touch the lever. People keep touching the lever. The lever keeps going this way, but you don't realize these people are even connected. It's gonna have to be, because I don't see anybody honestly that's older that's gonna be like, I want to change my way of life drastically to like better the American people at this point. Do you? Anybody in Congress?
In what?
Like,
no. I mean, Republican doesn't fucking matter. There's a handful of populist representatives that either can't get shit done or too scared or.
What are you scared of for? Like, like other than like.
Well, they're more worried about their careers and their future than they are of why they're even in that office to begin with. I mean, it's public service. It's not meant to be a career. A career in politics was never meant to be a thing. I mean, it was supposed to be a service to your country, and then you move on and let someone else take the responsibility. It wasn't supposed to be a job that you strive for. It was supposed to be a job that you did because you had to.
I mean, but also back in the day as well, I'm not talking about early 19th century, you were always moving up the ladder somewhere. So if you were a mayor, you were trying to get to the Senate. If you're trying to get this to where, I mean, I feel like that was even like, you want to say like post-Civil War, that was where that shifted. Where you had like people that like could really talk that talk. Like that was really a really good orator. That was like, you can get shit done. And that was like the definition of backdoor dealings type of shit.
Let's be
back
real.
in the day.
If you can speak in a slow, confident tone and just be relatable,
you gotta be the right one.
People will listen to you. I mean,
some of these people are like, from where they were when they started in politics to where they are now, it's like night and day. So some of these people, in a way, where it was, I wouldn't say genetically engineered, but they were engineered to go in a certain direction.
Well, there's entire generations of families that their whole thing is career politics. Yeah. Fucking Biden's been in politics. He's never had an actual job. He's always been a politician his entire life.
Yeah, it's crazy.
In between his KKK meetings and it blows my mind that people would sit there and call Trump a racist when Biden gave a eulogy at Robert Byrd's funeral.
People are stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't get.
But like, you expect more.
Really?
Yeah. With the amount of information, like
I mean, you've told me this like a lot of the times. Like, we have in our phones right now, we have access to the world's information.
The entirety of human knowledge is at your fingertips at any given moment.
Yeah. And we go on TikTok and social media. Like, that's not... So, even...
Cat videos and dick pics.
Now, even with that knowledge, right? There's certain things now that are almost being disputed as where it's almost like 1984, where it's like, is that how you remembered it? Is that actually what happened? Like...
Yeah, well, I mean,
it's one of those things now where you have so many people where it's like, okay, like if I look at a video right now where I say, okay, well, there.
You can just move the mouse.
Okay. There's no like discrimination or whatever else. And I can say like, has there been? I can look up another article where it says there's been no scriptures and things like that, where it's almost, and you have a lot of people that, younger or whatever else, you're looking at articles now just to confirm what you already think. Not necessarily because, even if you look at 3 articles from 3 different news sources, right? They could still be incorrect articles.
That shit don't work anymore. That used to work, but it's like...
I mean, honestly, what do you know if it's real or not? Honestly. Unless it's straight in your face. More times than not. And even when it's straight in your face, people can literally sit up, well, shit, I didn't do that. That was doctor. That was this. That was that.
It comes down to fact checking, and at the end of the day, I'm looking at the most simplest explanation tends to be the truth, and it's. I'm very big on sources, and anything that somebody tries to push, I have to check. You have to check now. You can't.
You can't not. You can't take it off of face value because you'll have you might not even see a retraction. You might see a light like.
Well, it's the framing of stories to where, take the Border Patrol agents on horseback. The videos I'm talking about whipping.
I seen that shit.
Whipping the migrants.
It doesn't look good. It doesn't. It definitely doesn't.
Do you know what they're doing?
No.
A lot of people don't because they've never ridden a fucking horse. Now they're not running around just whipping the shit out of people. What they're doing is as they're riding, it's a defensive tactic. As you ride, you spin the reins to keep people away from you and the horse.
Okay.
No, I'm not saying that's right, but it's a far cry from running up and just whipping the shit out of people for no reason.
No, because don't get me wrong, as far as the video or even the screenshots or whatever else, it doesn't look flattering. But once you look, it's one of those things where you can't take things at face value.
But it's not even that. It's the framing that the media is putting forward. Where I saw a story said the White House condemns whipping of migrants by Border Patrol, in which they frame it a certain way to push a narrative, but they can't get in trouble because they never officially said that they were whipping them. But then you'll never see a retraction. You read that headline and it sounds like the White House is condemning them for whipping migrants with whips, hitting them with whips.
Yeah.
But realistically, they're framing it a certain way so it looks like that without actually saying it, so they're not liable.
I feel like a lot of people have gotten really good at saying things without saying them.
Well, it's like I condemn your beating of children.
What does that mean, though?
That means that I condemn you if you were to beat children. But it sounds like I'm condemning the fact that you beat a child.
Aren't those the same thing?
No.
Okay. Because, alright, now...
I framed it a certain way to make it seem like you did something, but I never actually said you did it.
Okay. And it's one thing if I actually did it, but when I actually didn't do it.
Well, even if you didn't do it, and you went to say, well, they're lying, and I'm going to sue you for slander, or libel, it's print. But I never said that, and I never wrote that. All I said was I condemn the thought.
I don't like that shit.
And most people read that headline, and then they just keep on rolling and don't even look into anything further into the story. It's just fucked. And it's just one example.
Of many.
Well,
I mean,
it's the lying, it's the disinformation. I mean, they're not requiring they want fucking federal vaccine mandates, but they're not requiring that any of these migrants that come across the border to be vaccinated.
That makes no fucking sense. Period.
If you fly in from another country, like you fly in from Europe or whatever, you better have your fucking vaccine.
Yeah.
Or you ain't coming.
Yeah.
If you cross that border, oh fuck it, you'll be alright.
Shit like that is just
Give you a little horse paste, send you on your way. Which they are actually prescribing them ivermectin because it's an anti-parasitic.
Okay.
So they're trying to make sure that they don't come into the country with parasites, which they are transporting and flying them in to states now. That's been confirmed. Whether they're being vetted or not, I have no fucking idea.
Don't. Like, we don't like paying for our own people. Why are we paying for people that don't even have citizenship here? That doesn't make any sense.
Because
they can't vote. So what are we talking about here?
They don't need to vote.
So
because guess what? The census isn't based on whether you vote or not. It's just based if you live somewhere. And guess what the census determines? Representation. The more people you have living in an area, the more representatives you get. So if they transfer them to certain areas and get a high enough population, they get more representatives.
So that's what they've been doing for because I never understood what
it's building a permanent unskilled labor class. But the serious issues that come along with that, I mean, they come here, they make money, and they send it right back to where they came from. So it doesn't rotate back into our economy.
I mean, unless
they're essentially extracting wealth from our country and sending it back to their own.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna have, when you give them socials, when you actually pay them
if they become citizens, sure.
Well,
but all they gotta do is get them here.
And you got a lot of people that literally just pay people under the table, and
it's not hard to find a job that pays under the table. It's really not.
No, especially in labor.
A lot of people, particularly in labor, people would rather pay that cash money and not have to deal with the taxes.
Taxes, benefits, things like that.
Exactly. And, I mean, fucking landscaping was rampant.
Yeah.
Landscaping, construction. I'm really concerned because nothing's being done to remedy the situation. It's just getting worse and worse and worse. And it's majority of the people in this country are asleep at the wheel. Like, a lot of people see some stuff that's going on with the supply chain shortages and not being able to get certain types of food and certain types of material. I mean, construction material prices have been skyrocketing.
Yeah.
Skyrocketing.
I remember
Lumber in itself. I mean, it's come down a little bit, but still.
Early in the fucking year, like, I had clients, I was helping, and they're like, yeah, we're good to go, but it's like, I'm gonna have to wait till, because if I'm gonna go and get my house built with the prices, it's not gonna be worth anything.
No.
It's not gonna make any sense.
You'll spend fucking 15 years trying to build the equity in it just to make it worth it.
Yeah.
Something's got to be done, and I hope it doesn't come to what's going on in Australia with them fucking.
They don't have guns, so I don't think the government, if they are even going to try anything short of what they're trying, they don't, even though you have Americans sleep at the wheel, you still have Americans that have guns.
Yeah, but you say that, but then 300 people took the House or the Capitol building in less than 30 minutes with 0 weapons.
Wait, they have any weapons?
No.
So I thought that was I thought that was what, because I mean we talked about it a while ago, like I thought that was a purposeful thing.
No.
It was a spur of
the
moment.
millions of people that came to see that man speak, and only maybe a couple hundred made it into the Capitol building.
Yeah.
A couple thousand went to the Capitol building itself. A couple hundred went inside. And you think it so you got all these people that are armed to the teeth show up to take the Capitol building without a firearm? A single one?
That was very weird.
I mean, fuck the videos of the cops ushering people in, and the you know, I don't even want to talk about it, because people want to talk about that as a goddamn insurrection. Watch the videos of the Taliban taking Kabul. That is a fucking insurrection. I mean, the two don't even compare.
Okay, so then what would you call January 6th? Just
a riot.
A riot.
100% a riot.
Okay.
I'm not saying it was right at all. It was the dumbest thing they could have done. It killed any momentum that Trump had in court in fighting or overturning any of the election results, and it made the right in its entirety look like incompetent assholes. And it just...
Because you did exactly what the quote-unquote... Like, we would never do what the left does. No, you did.
Well, it's not... It wouldn't have even worked. This isn't 1812 where you can run in and take the Capitol building. You now control the government.
Like, no.
No, it doesn't work like that anymore.
And,
not in America.
No. I feel bad for the lady that got killed. Yeah. It's unfortunate.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Yeah. You have a lot of people where it's like, they're like, that shouldn't have happened. And I'm like...
No, and it shouldn't have happened. I don't understand
then,
how
like,
a Capitol police officer feels endangered by a fucking 90-pound woman poking her head through a window when there were police officers on that side of the fucking door in full riot gear. When he fired that shot, there were police in full riot gear in the crowd she was standing in. On the side of the door that she was on, not the side where the Capitol police officer that shot her was. There were like, you can see the video, there's like 2 or 3 cops in full riot gear just standing there, and they're all fucking milling around, and she pops her head up, and then you hear the gunshot, and then she drops to the ground and bleeds out. A lot of people broke in, a lot of people fucked shit up, but a lot of people just kind of milled their way in and through the building, didn't really even realize what they were doing. They were so shocked that they actually made it in the fucking door that they just kind of are walking around, taking selfies, touching shit.
Yeah, I seen one like take one of the one of the people's laptops or something like that.
Nancy Pelosi's laptop got taken.
But what people don't understand, like that shit has fucking cameras on. So like they've been, from that they've been snatching.
The second you open that laptop, that camera's recording your face.
Listen, they've been snatching people up, literally.
Well, it's because a lot of them. You tell me that you're gonna sit there and say that shit was planned. Why wasn't anybody wearing a mask? If that shit was planned, why wouldn't they cover their faces? Why would they just allow themselves to be videoed?
No, it wasn't planned.
There are people still imprisoned in solitary confinement. No legal representation, no due process, because they were terrorists during the January 6th insurrection.
How many domestic terrorists we've had in the past, and that's never, like, that's surprising to me, honestly, because we've had a lot of different domestic terrorists, or what you want to call it, and that's never been the case. So it's surprising to me that people are still in there. They're probably surprised as well.
Yeah,
I'm still in it. Like, why am I still in it? But mean, you want to talk? Well, let's slightly pivot because I mean we've been talking about that probably for like we've been probably at least an hour. So, you want to talk about the Gabby Petito thing?
Not really. I mean, it's why does this one matter? Not her as a human being, but why does this case matter? Why is this so important?
It's a distraction. That's all it is.
Well, it's like, from what I understand, there was some situation where they were, whether she was beating on him or they were beating on each other, and the cops got called. Yeah,
they were at a bar. They were at a bar. There were two other people that got murdered, and her, and he's on the run.
He got sent to a hotel, and then she had to stay in the van. Yeah. After that incident, which it's like, if he was at fault, I don't think cops would have put him up in a hotel.
Yeah, they would have probably put him in jail. So
was she beating on him and he returned the favor? What?
So the thing of there's a lot. Well, this kind of reminds me of like this is like you remember the Scott Peterson case, right?
Scott Peterson?
Yeah, he killed his wife with their unborn daughter in her stomach, and then acted like nothing happened or whatever.
Lacey Peterson,
yeah.
No,
so
that was it.
It's kind of like
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So it's now you have a lot of people from the other side of the spectrum where it's like, why is this getting all the news when you have indigenous women, you have black women get? I'm like,
didn't
when I hear
like burn cities to the ground because George Floyd got killed?
That was one instance. But what I want to say that they
one of a dozen or so over the summer.
But that wasn't happening. That only happened in that certain amount of time. At the end of the day, like people are surprised. Like, why are you surprised? This is indigenous women that go missing. It's black. Like the media doesn't give a fuck. Why are you surprised? I don't get surprised by these things anymore. Like, there's not going to be coverage. This is they're saying, well, she's a white woman. I'm like, yeah, of course, she's going to get coverage. Why are you surprised? Like, why are you surprised? It is what it is.
No, that's what I'm saying. Why this one? Because if you can Google white girl missing and get a fucking list of women.
She was on social media.
Yeah, but she wasn't even that popular. Her social media presence wasn't that big. She didn't have a huge presence on any real social media. It wasn't like she had posted a bunch of videos. She had essentially just started posting about this whole. I don't even understand this whole van life bullshit. Like, I'm homeless and trendy. No, bitch, you're homeless.
You're homeless, and you're in a car,
and that's it. So
I think the funniest thing, because like there was I've seen all these van life videos on TikTok and shit, and black people is like wait, so you guys are?
That's white people shit. I'm sorry.
I'm just like, are you serious?
Shit. It's like camping. We're white. We're the only white people love pretending to be homeless. We do. We love it.
I will never understand it. Like, why?
Well, and neither do we, because we get a day and a half into it and we're like, fuck, this sucks, I want to go home. And then we go home.
Yeah. I mean, there's certain men, women think, like, now I've seen sprinters and fucking school buses, like, shits look legit.
Yeah.
Like, shits look legit. Like, where you can really set that shit up right. But it's... The only reason why I think this is because you haven't had anything like this happen in a while.
Well, it's like...
And it's like, it's another distraction.
Yeah, everybody's talking about this. They're not talking about the border issue. They're not talking about Afghanistan.
So, like, when I hear about, like, so... Again, like I was saying, like, you have other people that are talking about, well, why aren't... They were saying in Wyoming, there was all... I mean, they've been saying this probably for the past couple months that where a pipeline was going, there was indigenous women that were going missing. And I'm like, I want people to understand this in the most honest way. The media doesn't give a fuck. It just they don't. Why are you surprised? I'm not surprised. You have, a whole bunch of black women going, missing, and then you have some, you have certain people saying, well, why isn't this getting talked about? You know why. Why are you surprised?
Why isn't it getting talked about?
It's not trendy. It's not like the mainstream media doesn't give a fuck.
No, it's not.
And
it's not about informing anyone anymore. It's about pushing narratives and being the propaganda wing of the political class. It's not anything other than that.
I just don't get when people say, "Well, I don't understand why this is not getting media attention." Like, you know why? You don't like why it's not getting media attention, but you know why. It's not trendy. It's not marketable because you have the majority that don't give a fuck, and you don't. There's a lot of people that want to be very honest, where it's like, well, I don't understand why, because they don't. They haven't given a fuck in a long fucking time. The only time they give a fuck in these certain things is where.
Okay, so this is
Patrice O'Neal. I seen the one with the white woman.
Yeah, well, this basically breaks it down. Give this shit to play.
I mean, he spoke some real shit about it, like
gone way before his time, dude.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite comedians.
Congratulations to you, my friend. Look at that white woman you're with. God damn.
That's crazy.
The nigga behind you going, yeah, son, I'm with my girl, but yo, for real? That white woman's amazing, isn't she? Tell the truth. He's with his black girl for like, no, I don't know, but she's high level. That's a high level white woman right there. That white woman man, oh man. Black women get mad at that, but that is top shelf white woman right there.
Top shelf white woman.
Stop it!
You know how you can tell how pretty a white woman is? The value, you look at her and then you wonder how long they would look for if she was missing.
Pretty much.
Come on, take a look. Look at that nigga. Look. I saw you look mad, sweetie. How long if you was missing? How long you think they would? Exactly. She went. You know the deal. I ain't saying nothing wrong. White woman's life is valuable. What's his name? Joran Vandersloot? Right? We find out he was a serial killer. Man, he kills women. That's what he do. He do it well. You know what I mean? We know the girl that he supposedly had, what's the girl in Aruba? Natalie Holloway, right? But the one, he just killed a girl in Peru. What's her name? Exactly.
You just proved my point.
Right.
What girl man you said? Now you said Natalie. Natalie.
Oh my God.
Y'all said that like Family Feud. All right, name a white girl been missing for 5 years in Aruba. Natalie Holloway. Survey said. Name a Peruvian girl that was killed yesterday. What is that big-headed third world Peruvian bitch's name? It has to be Yoris or something goofy. Don't get mad at yourself. I gave gave it to you. You saw how fast she said Natalie Holloway. Diana Ross right here said Natalie. She knew her name. That white girl with Natalie Holloway. Man, you caught yourself, woo. God bless you, man. That is high level right there. Don't be ashamed of it, gorgeous.
Pretty much.
Um,
I mean,
Patrice O'Neal, Elephant in the Room, stand up, check it out if you haven't seen it.
I mean, it's exactly what I said. Basically.
I mean, it
is what it is.
I mean, it's
not right, but it's just
it's true to an extent because it's
just don't be surprised.
Well, it's like that. You remember that girl in Clayton, Autumn Pasquale?
Yeah.
That them boys, the two boys, snatched her up, killed her over some bike parts, and dumped her in a recycle bin.
Yeah. And then what was messed up was they like took the brother, like the one to go and like look for her, like yeah. Like that almost kind of
national news.
That almost kind of started like a low key, because I was on Facebook at the time. It almost kind of started a race war type shit.
Low key nothing, bro. That shit almost went very bad. Her dad almost went to jail for inciting riots.
Yeah,
which
I understand.
I'm not gonna blame the man because his daughter was murdered and stuffed in a recycle bin for a fucking bike.
I understand. But what I already knew was the motherfuckers were going to jail. They were going to get put under the jail just because of what they did. It was over.
No, they're out.
What?
Yeah, they're out. They've been out for a while.
What?
Yeah.
I'm very surprised. It usually doesn't go that way. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like once I heard the story, I was like, it's an open and shut case.
And it was, but
and there's usually, I'm gonna be honest with you. We want to be honest. There's usually no leniency, especially with shit like that. Like, no, this shit was fucking crazy. I'm like, no, you're done.
Actually, I know I think just the one brother is out.
I mean, they were young, but still, it's like, motherfuckers are fucking been put under jail for less. So,
alright, so the one boy got 35 years?
Yeah. As he should.
For home invasion. Dante Robinson was the one brother. One of the brothers accused of the murder of a 12-year-old Autumn Pasquale, 2012.
Damn, was that long ago? I vividly remember that. Like, it was...
See, no, because a Clayton man best known for admitting to obstruction in the shocking death of 12-year-old Autumn Pasquale in 2012 is now headed to prison for decades for an unrelated home invasion in which he himself was shot.
That's crazy.
He was sentenced Thursday to 35 and a half years in prison with 27 years of parole ineligibility for the armed home invasion in May of 2017. So yeah, no, he was out on the streets 5 years later. I don't even know that he served fucking time because they were both minors at the time. He was 17.
Yeah, I think what
the older brother was 17. The younger brother was 15 when they were charged with murder in 2012 after her body was found in the recycle bin.
Yeah.
The brother Justin pleaded guilty to aggravated manslaughter, saying he alone lured Autumn to his house and strangled her. He was sentenced to 17 years in state prison.
Okay.
He later told NJ Advanced Media he killed the girl after they argued about payment for repairs to her bicycle. Dante Robinson pleaded guilty to fourth-degree obstruction, denying he had anything to do with the death, and spent about 3 months in a youth correctional facility.
I mean, he essentially got what he deserved. I mean, with situations like that, it's like, he should have gotten what he got regardless. Point blank, period. I mean, but when I'm gonna be honest. Looking away, like I already knew, like when I heard that, I was like, "There's no way they're not getting jail time." That wasn't even a question. I don't give a fuck how old they were. They could have been fucking 10 and fucking 12. It's just what that is. So that whole situation is unfortunate. Like, but I mean, it goes back to. I mean, it goes back to like the Patrice thing. Unfortunately, like it gets more media coverage.
What about this one made it necessary to be national news?
It probably fit a certain criteria. Not a criteria that we know. One, whether would it have still same hit if she was Hispanic or if she was black, or maybe not. It's one of those things where, because what people don't like, America, it's a melting pot, but you still have majority. So there's a lot of people not saying you, but you have fathers and things like that. Well, shit, that's my little girl. That could be my little girl that got killed. The same thing with all them passed out
there. Yeah, but that shit don't happen just because the girl was white. You know,
a
black father saying, "Well, that could have been my little girl."
But it doesn't really. They don't care though. Like the
father, the media, or the father doesn't care.
The media doesn't care.
Are you sure? I mean, it could be even more fucked up that the media doesn't care because.
I mean, think about this, right? And I'm gonna take this kind of personal.
Well, it's
right?
like say.
So like when my mom got murdered.
Yeah.
Right. Did you see like media or anything like that?
No.
Yeah.
What?
This is what it is.
That is also different circumstance from like
that. It's not necessarily because the girl was in an abusive relationship. She was in an abusive relationship. You know, I know what the messed up thing about that, right? When we had our funeral, there was a picture in there. I think I told you about this. This is probably maybe like a week or two. This was before I even went to
Days?
Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
Her eye was messed up. I was like she basically told me like she ran into like when you open up your cabinets and that was in that like someone took a picture of her. That was in the because I went on the site and it's not on there anymore. But that was in her like memorial, like when I used to get fucking sauce to and whatever else when I was heavily drinking at one point. But that was in her. That was in her thing. That there was a. But yeah, I mean, it's a distraction, but it's also they can frame it to where this could be like not necessarily America's sweetheart, but this is America's daughter.
Do you think that it might have something to do with the black community not caring, but not necessarily not caring, but thinking that nobody else cares, so why would we care?
Well, the black community is never had to care. Like, even if they cared about a certain issue, it never was like, we wanted you to care. If you care, that's cool, but we don't really, like...
Yeah, but do you think that might have something to do with it?
Because then...
That if you care, it's cool, but if not, it is what it is?
But then also to be like, we're... Like, not only is this going to be... You're going to have the main... You're going to have the I'm not gonna say regular people, but you're gonna have the mainstream people of like, this could be my daughter, but then also you have the people where it's like, shit. If she was black, will we even be having this conversation? If she was indigenous, will we be having this conversation?
Well,
so like, where almost it's not only on that aspect. So now it's multifaceted, where it's an argument between a whole bunch of people, but it's still a distraction nonetheless.
Well, I mean, as far as I can see, it's only been recently that the black community has actually come out and really, in force, shown that we're not putting up with this kind of shit. We will be heard, and you're gonna care. And because that's only been a recent thing, do you think that might have something to do with it? Because the black community hasn't really like shown up for situations like that until recently.
Yeah.
I mean,
realizing,
bro, fucking white people. Somebody goes missing, everybody's on top of that shit.
Yeah. I mean,
and I'm not saying black people don't, but it's.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, even if I feel like there was a period of time where even if we do, even was it that fucking you remember that fucking the fucking dude Castro in Chicago with that fucking the guy with the fucking kufi. He fucking was like, yo, I'm about to go to McDonald's. This girl, it was these 3 girls, right? What was fucked up was one of the girls was his daughter's best friend. Mm-hmm. Snatched them all up, was violating them for like a good number of years. Got them all pregnant. One of them, the mom was looking for forever. He did the most disrespectful thing you could do. Is like, it's like when someone steals your shit and then goes in like, yo, like, no, I'm gonna help you find it.
Did you get robbed?
Yeah, that type of shit. With his daughter. And then the motherfucker had a fucking padlock on the shit with fucking 3 girls in there that he was, I think it was him, and I think, yeah. Now he's under the
They
jail.
found the girls, right?
They found the girls. And
that's right.
And with the fucking guy was like, yo, I was about to go and get McDonald's. This fucking black guy fucking with the kufi and shit. It's like, yo, I've been here for a long time, whatever else. That was probably the most, I think one was white, one was Spanish, another one was black. But it was just like, it's, you have a lot of people where now it's like, we're going to have to be active because we're not going to get the media coverage of a Gabby, which I'm going to say this, all due respect, what happened to this young lady is tragic. The guy is on the run, if you weren't following the story. So he's on the run right now. Like, they haven't heard anything from her for like 3 weeks, and then he came back, she didn't.
Yeah, he came back with her van or whatever.
Yeah. And then they went to his parents' house, he lawyered up. I'm like, but then he ran. I'm like, dude, you're fucking guilty. That's like, logically,
either that or he knows there's no way that he'll ever be able to convince anybody that he's not guilty, so he panicked and ran.
I mean,
but I mean, at the end of the day,
like, I mean,
I'll be honest, you call me a dick or an asshole or a piece of shit, but I don't care. I don't care. As fucked up as it is to say, there are way more important things going on in this country that need to be handled, and our attention does not need to be on this.
So, honestly, I was thinking about that, like, all day, honestly. I was just like, I just don't care. And it's, I just, like, there's so much other shit that I'm dealing with in my life and everything that's going on. Again, do I want her killer to come to justice? Of course. Is the media coverage or whatever else, CNN or Fox News or whoever else, they're going to be eating for a bit. Okay? But at the end of the day, does it matter in the grand scheme of things? Not really. Like, shit. Rico from Paid in Full said this a long time ago. Niggas die every day, B. And that's just real shit. And it's.
I think you got a Paid in Full reference. I can't believe you squeeze that in.
And sorry, but it's fucked up to say, but I'm just
come with some baby boy references.
Nah.
It's fucked up to say, but I don't care. There literally are things that are going on that need to be focused on.
This is literally, unfortunately, a fucking distraction. Because and I'm like it's one thing for like people like millennials and Gen Z, whatever. They say our attention spans are have gotten shorter.
Mm-hmm.
I say everybody's fucking attention spans gotten fucking shorter. Like,
well, it's not so much that, it's so much that we see the worst shit ever
on a daily basis.
Not just on a daily basis, but multiple times throughout a single day, that we get so desensitized to the shit that it's like, oh, well, it's just fucking another thing.
Yeah.
But it's like, you take, they're the delusion of some people that say, oh no, everything's fine, economy's great, there's no problems, yeah, things are a little expensive, but inflation,
I've seen these people, but I've never encountered somebody, because I'm like, are you sure? Are you positive?
Well, no, they're devoted, lifelong Democrats who think the economy's great right now.
Oh my God.
Biden's doing fantastic. Meanwhile, they're cheering for fascist mandates. And, bro, we probably got to wrap this up pretty soon, but, you got Black Lives Matter protesting in New York with these vaccine mandates. Realistically, it is segregation, and it's skewed significantly one way, because I think it's like 80% of the white population in New York City is vaccinated, and it's like 30 or 40% of the black community is vaccinated.
Yeah,
for whatever reason, they don't trust it. They don't trust the government. They just.
It's like the. I think the funniest thing is because of not realizing black people don't have a very good relationship with the government, let alone vaccines and things like that.
And it's not just that.
Then also...
before Trump was out of office, you had Kamala Harris, Biden, Obama, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, all talking about, we're not going to take the vaccine, don't trust it. It's Trump's vaccine, don't do it. And the second he was out of office, it's like, everybody get that vaccine right now, do it. And now, it's like, they ain't going to listen to you now.
No, I think the worst thing, too, is when people are like, you know how many drugs you've done? And you're worried about what's in the vaccine? Yes. Now, because there's a couple comedians and different people out in LA that have been getting bad of fentanyl. There's one that, was on a podcast he fucking OD'd. One's in the fucking ICU. Shit is kind of crazy. That fucking, they lacing that weed, they lacing that coke.
They're putting it in fucking weed now. What the fuck?
I don't need.
You can't even trust fucking weed no more. What the fuck? And
that shit is not. It's not anything to play with. So I'm just. There's a guy by the name of Fu Johnson. He was on a podcast. Diary of a Fuckboy, whatever it was. I was with a funny comedian, but with that being, but he ended up ODing. It's shit's fucking bad out there right now. But I think we're gonna call it. It's been a good episode coming back. I'm going to be putting out this episode in the next day or two. Check out episode 20. It was a killer. You got anything to say?
Yeah, Wu-Tang, protect your neck. Let's see if we got that.
Actually, let's see. Okay, so 29 minutes. Like, I don't know, when I did the second one, it only went and then processed, and then I kept clicking it. So, anything you could say, you could say it again. Saying like, we're out of here, guys. I gotta take me an ass piss.
You gonna be good to drive?
Yeah, I'm gonna drink some water. That should be straight. I'm good.
Sure?
I'm good.
And a little trouble controlling the volume of your voice there. Started to get louder and louder and louder.
But, that was a good one, though. We're just gonna have to get our money up, man. Like, really, that's the only thing that, cause, I've been not wanting to get like, I got some people like in the Jackson Urban League and things like that I've been like, you know, I've been talking to for the past like, you know, a couple of years. You know, when I first started kind of getting more into the community, like I'm like, because if you can figure out some shit that works on a local level and then be able to recreate it across every major city, as far as the homeless shit that we've been talking about. What was it? The homeless shit we've been talking about. Also the like pothole shit like that. Like shit that's not where if our tax dollars aren't paying for it, then it's like, all right, well, privatize it to a certain point, but still have regulations.
I wouldn't want to party with him, but with that being said, but he ended up ODing, like it's just fucking bad up. I'm going to be putting out this episode in the next day or two. Check out episode 20. It was a killer. You got anything to say? Yeah, it was bad, but
I can cut it.
Yeah, so, be good out there, be good to each other, protect your neck, Wu-Tang. No, for real, check out last week's episode. Shout out to Steve. Shit was killer. We will be doing an episode again next time me and him can get up. But yeah, I mean, shit. Have a good night, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week. We're going to see about maybe getting maybe more than one of these up a week. See what we can work out. But
also, I'm going to be putting out a link earlier in the week so you guys can ask questions, things like that.
Yeah, I'll have a email set up to where y'all can put in questions, requests, and we'll go ahead and have a little segment at the end where we'll just kind of go through that. Just anything y'all want to know, anything y'all kind of want us to talk about, or just touch on, whatever. But on that note, I'm Trevor.
And I'm Aaron.
All right, we're out of here, guys.
Peace.
Later.
I'll be able to download it. And then I'm going to take the first one we did live stream off of my...
It won't finish.
What, process?
No, it won't even give me the option to finish.